to the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting one getting towards that draft, and I'm curious to see how much Adagio we'll see during this series. It was a huge pickup back at the championship, but this is a different patch, and we've not seen it really as much coming on through. Let's talk a little bit about Cloud9 as well. Obviously, these guys, current reigning champions, they are a very, very strong team. They have been they've been looking near flawless across the course of this season so far, but it's going to be a lot on the hands of these Tribe players to try and match up to the mechanical skill of Cloud9, and that's something that it's not an easy feat to achieve, but it's definitely something that is possible, especially when you've got players like T-Tigers, Dienzio on your team, and Max Green as well. This is a powerhouse roster.
Yeah, definitely a very strong lineup. I mean, they were, again, put together originally to be the team to take down Team Solomid, to take down Cloud9. They have yet to really be able to fully prove that, but last season they were able to find victories against these top teams. Now they need to continue to perform and show that they are deserving of being in that conversation.
And for me, T-Tigers is the player that's going to need to step up for the series to be able, or to allow Tribe to win it against C9. Why? Because when this team was brought up originally, like you mentioned, Tasty Bacon, T-Tigers was the biggest playmaker on this team. He was the one who would get into the enemy jungle, create plays, create advantages, and then let Dienzio carry the late game team fights. We haven't been seeing too much of T-Tigers, even though he's been performing solid. He needs to get back to his strong performance that we've seen from him before, so that they can take this series off of C9.
Yeah, you don't want to just see a staple jungler from T-Tigers. You want to see a carry jungler coming out from him. We'll see if that's going to come out in this series. Let's talk about Cloud9 as well. Their opponents, Gabe Vizzle, Old School, and I Love Joseph. All three of these players have been playing so consistently, excellently across the course of this season and the end of last season as well. Honestly, it's difficult to find a criticism about this team.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, the only criticism I guess you could make is that their drafts are a bit unconventional, but like they're still winning, so that's not even really something that you can pinpoint. And they've said, like, they've told us why their drafts are unconventional. It's intentional. So it's something that there really is very few weaknesses to this team. You know, some teams have spotted weaknesses and then tried to exploit them, still end up coming up short. So it's a question of what do you do?
And one of the questions we've had is, like, how did they get this good? We actually asked Gabe Vizzle during this week what the preparation was like for Cloud9 on a weekly basis, how they get to this point every single time.
So as of right now, our preparation is just 4 hours of practice on the weekdays. Since school and Joseph have school, that's why it's been cut down. When we're at LA and they were on summer, it was down to, I believe, 6 to 8 hours of practice. So we tuned that down because obviously school, right?
All right, so having to cut down their practice a little bit because of, obviously, two of the players are still at school. A little bit confusing there. One of the players is called Old School, and he's at school. But yeah, so a lot of practice coming in. Even while they've had a full day at school, they're still doing full 4 hours of practice each and every day. So you can understand why this team is doing so well right now. Player to watch coming into this game, I feel like has to be T-Tigers. We already mentioned him earlier. He is an absolute playmaker, but we haven't seen that same level coming out from him this season just yet. I want to see him really dominate the jungle like we're used to seeing him do.
Yeah, and again, it's not 100% fair to say, oh, we haven't seen him dominate, because we've only got to see one series.
True,
really,
very true.
for him against Team Solomid. They were off stream yesterday. We did pick up that win. You know, we didn't really have a chance to get to see. I would assume he probably dominated the jungle, because usually when Tribe is winning, it's T-Tigers dominating the jungle.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see whether he can do that in this series. It's going to be difficult going up against I Love Joseph. Now, let's start to talk about the draft for this series. Now, obviously, I already mentioned the Adagio earlier. That's going to be maybe a priority. We'll have to see where these guys want to go with it. But another pick that I want to talk about is the Scarf, because Dienzio is an absolute monster on Scarf. It's a pick that we've seen prioritized a lot more when specifically Tribe are playing. Do we think that that's going to be a massive priority here, or is Celeste kind of going to overtake them?
I do really think that Scarf can be a huge priority here. Either C9 going to ban it, or perhaps we're going to see Tribe take it away and have it on Dienzio. One thing to say is, and one thing that we can expect for sure, is Cloud9 going to pull a lot more serious of a draft rather than the type of drafts that we have been seeing from them so far this season, just because Tribe is an extremely talented team, and if you give them an opportunity, if you underestimate them just a little bit, you might regret it.
Huge respect ban coming in here. The Koshka taken away from T-Tigers.
Yeah, that is specifically a ban against T-Tigers, just completely respecting. They know that Tribe are a team that are willing to pick that Koshka first if it is available. That's how good T-Tigers is with this hero and how devastating he can be. So instead, we are going to get the Grace Catherine first picks. And now as we get on to the second wave bans, I'm curious to see if Cloud9 are going to continue to target T-Tigers. But no, they're going to take the Adagio away. We did see Dienzio play the Adagio to great success at Unified Live Championship. I'm a little upset we don't get to see these two carries. Like, I want to see Dienzio and Old School play Adagio and get to play it against each other just to have that little bit of an extra rivalry between them. But it will be then the Batiste taken away, so we don't have the Catherine Batiste combo.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a lot more respectful of a draft coming out of Cloud9. Both teams are being extremely cautious with what they allow left on the table. The Adagio ban is a character and a hero that can be combined with the Grace to great effect, and like you mentioned, Dienzio uses it very well. The Baptiste coming out as a ban from Tribe to eliminate it as an option from Cloud9 to take it away with the Catherine. Is just very methodical draft so far and very cautious. The Petal pick is a little surprising to me because it can get countered in the jungle, but at the same time we saw Cloud9 use it in the lane as a weapon power Petal, so it can be flexed.
I think they're trying to bait out the Scarf potentially, because Scarf would do so well into a CP Petal, but we know that they have that weapon power Petal up their sleeves. This could be a devious plan from Cloud9.
Yeah, and I think if you're a Tribe, you have to just try and pick something that can do well into Petal, but don't necessarily pick something that's a direct counter to Petal because of the fact that there is that flex. Jewel, I think, is a great pick in this situation because you can go in and destroy those minions, but you're also durable enough that, you know, the Petal isn't going to be able to just obliterate you because you have that front armor facing, or front-facing armor. And so even if they go with the weapon Petal, it's not going to be, you know, a complete shutdown. But if it is a crystal Petal, you can still deal with it.
All right, now Tribe, they've already locked in that Jewel. We'll see what they're going to follow up with on top of it to go against this Petal. I'll be curious to see if they go with two very aggressive melee characters going into a Petal, because you could still flex that to CP, you could still go with a kiting, but it is going to be a Fortress locked on in, so looks like we could well have Jewel in the lane.
Yeah, it's CP jungle Fortress for and a Jewel weapon power lane for Dienzio. I mean, it works very similar to the Vox Fortress Grace, only the difference is it's triple melee and there's a lot more burst coming out of Jewel and stronger early game pressure. As we have seen in the Rogue matchup or the Rogue series, Jewel can dominate the enemy laner and get advantages very easily.
But the issue I have with the Fortress pick is, assuming that is going to be in the jungle, that's not really like a playmaking hero for T-Tigers. And T-Tigers always seems to excel when you have a playmaker. Plus, again, flex the Petal to weapon. There's a rhyme for the triple melee composition. I think Cloud9 have a great draft into what Tribe has.
Well, the rhyme does work really well against the triple melee. The only thing is that Fortress has his mortal wounds. And if C9 use that to great effect and just focus the rhyme, if Cloud9 start kiting away, Tribe can just burst down Rhyme and kill him before he can do anything.
All right, we'll see how this one's going to pan out. Obviously, Petal and Rhyme both known for being good into these melee compositions, but if you can engage hard enough, if you can burst people down, they're not going to be able to last long enough in these fights. How are we expecting the early game to go on this one? Who's going to be on the front foot here?
It should be the side of Tribe being very aggressive, trying to use this Fortress to get into Rhyme's jungle and just, you know, not allow him to really build up. But at the same time, Joseph, he kind of wants to be a little bit aggressive as well with rotations coming down from Old School on the Petal. So it's really going to depend on how the laners rotate and how they react.
I expect the opposite. I expect Cloud9 to play a lot more aggressive in the jungle just because Rhyme is a great matchup against Fortress early on. You can shut him down. But the Jewel into the Petal in the lane, that's a matchup that can be abused. And I think at the same time, Tribe can have a much better late game.
All right, well, it's time to jump into our second semi-final of the day. It's Tribe going up against Cloud9. Get on social media and let us know who you're supporting. Make sure to tag the teams, but it's time to pass it over once again to Humanist and Sean Ostino.
Tribe versus Cloud9. This is going to be an incredible series. I'm here with Sean Ostino himself. Very fun compositions on both sides, my friend.
Very fun compositions. I see double weapon blade on Old School. He's going for that weapon pedal. Pew, 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 pew. We love her, don't we?
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited, Humanist. This is going to be a great matchup. We got to see a lot of action yesterday. I expect nothing less than fireworks in this game with the Enzio on this weapon-powered Jewel. With that winter skin she's got there, so that's gonna be pretty cool. Feels good, man. And we need to have Fortress do some work here. We got to have Fortress help with the engage. He's got to be able to dive in, Law of the Claw, Truth of the Tooth by Mortal Wounds, and help that Jewel to engage along with her Rocket Leap, because they got to blow up this pedal before it gets to mid to late game.
That's right, Ribbit. And I would expect T-Tigers to be really marking the correct targets. He's definitely a leader. Okay, Vizzle moves forward, finds the stun onto Zio. Zio has showed his back. Dragon Blood contract applied, procced off. Old School trampolines forward. And they got him. A nice kill, a nice first blood for C9.
Nice first blood of C9, getting onto I Love Joseph. Really well done. D'Enzio, you do not have heavy plating in the back. You can't show your backside to C9. They're just going to melt right through you. Jewel just exposes her human side that way. Woo! So
That's right.
Once he comes in, we need to see... That's exactly actually what needs to be done. We got to see stuns just like that. We see stuns just like that from Gabe Vizzle. It's going to make Weapon Power Jewel completely defenseless to this Weapon Power pedal.
Eat the pedal, eat the pedal. Oh, it's just trampoline back. Just immediate play from Old School, and you can see Zio's really not even thinking about chasing to get a kill early on here. He just wants to farm. We got to talk about earlier a little bit the power spikes with the weapon Jewel. And maybe you could talk about that a little bit here with D'Enzio and how we could expect it to play out in this game.
Yeah, sure. Well, I would expect it to play pretty much the same way. Once we need to get him to mid-game where D'Enzio gets that level 8 power spike on this Jewel. We need to overdrive the Thunderstrike, the B ability. Once we overdrive that Thunderstrike on this Jewel, then she's going to be able to crit every time she does those Thunderstrikes. It's going to be great. You know, we got to get those Thunderstrikes onto Old School on this weapon power pedal, because pedal is so squishy. Sure.
There's a Thunderstrike cleared through all the Munions, and this is what's going to happen. So as time goes on, Zio will just be tearing through these Munions. They'll be spawned over and over. We'll see how that plays out for Old School. We did see Old School go for the Sorrow Blade into double Tornado yesterday. We'll see if he goes for something similar like that today.
I would expect him to. We do see it heavy. Whoa, engage!
Oh, a little bit of a heavy engage there. Old School just repositions right back. Healing Flask, and he's back in business. So, Tribe, you know, they see their target, but they couldn't collect on the bounty.
They couldn't collect on the bounty. And that's the thing about Old School. He's such a great laner. He knows, he feels, he gets the inkling when they're about to dive in. And this is a dive comp. Jewel wants to Rocket Leap in. We get the movement speed bonus from T-Tigers on this Fortress. Benediction from Max Green is going to be able to dive in. There's so much dive potential here coming out of the side of Tribe. But well, if we could just have Old School just continue to farm up. Look, they're already sharing experience here in the jungle. If they just keep farming up, rotating together like this, get this weapon power pedal to late game, we're going to have an explosive match.
You know, honestly, this is going to be a really good game just because we got two amazing teams in here. I wouldn't expect to be a blowout either way, but I would like to see this game end by Old School's weapon pedal just getting crushed by like one Thunderstrike, putting him into the dirt and ending the game.
One Icy Thunderstrike from this snow monster would be really nice. I'd like to also point out that both of the captains are sitting on Dragon Blood contracts, so they both want to have that aggression. They both want to be able to dive in on the other team members, on the other carries.
Yeah, I think that's a great tool for them to use. Storm Crown complete for T-Tigers, so his clear potential is there. His ability to take objectives a little bit more enhanced as well. Gabe Vizzle moves up, Merciless Pursuit. Who's he looking for? Okay, he just goes right on to Zio. He's the target. Dragon Blood contract applied everywhere there. This is Gabe just kind of flexing and zoning them out. I guess they really respected the fact that maybe someone was behind him.
Yeah, I guess they did. We do have, yeah, whenever we have that that fortress. We do want him to be able to clear the jungle really well, so he does go for that Storm Crown very quickly. That's also going to help him with his cooldown reduction as well. And with him hitting his level 6 power spike, he's going to be able to have that attack of the pack, another good engage tool for them. And that's another way they're going to be able to blow up Old School and meet their win conditions.
Joseph thinking twice about dropping down to the shop as he realizes Tribe's down there as a team. Tribe quickly have to get right back into the lane because consistently Old School is just pressuring the wave forward, making sure that if they leave for just a second, they're going to put pressure onto that turret, potentially apply a little bit of damage. And now we see C9 rotating as a unit, like nobody looking to get caught out here.
Can you imagine the pressure that they must be feeling for the members of Tribe? This weapon power pedal has become so popular in the last 24 hours, and we haven't engaged.
Nah.
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 Nothing. No, but they must have so much pressure on them to be able to take down this weapon power pedal. The mind games that C9 is playing here, with them being at the top and potentially going to the finals this weekend, it's just astounding. Minion Candy dropped onto those minions from Gabe Vizzle there.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Cloud9 feeling very comfortable with their current position. Nice benediction immediately onto Gabe Vizzle. In case anybody goes onto Zio, he'll be able to get himself out of there. Most likely, Zio drops down. The shop, he's going to do a little shopping down here. Nice Valkyrie lands right on him. He gets a 2-man root. Joseph making the play. Zio with the Rocket League back. Gets the Divine Intervention, the healing. Now he's back in with Thunderstrike. Old School dropping low. Repositions. T-Tigers. Healing Flask keeps him alive, but just barely. He's on the chase, and the Wolves just kind of clawing at C9. Nobody goes down off of that fight, but C9 feel that they have an advantage. They'll go for the Gold Miner here, but Zio's hanging around. He's level 5. Max Green, level 6, hanging in the wings as well. They'll look for this Old School jump sport. The Rocket League back. Look at the pew, 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 starting to come up, starting to pile on here. Gold Miner dropping low, and this is going to go to C9. 356 gold each in the first major objective coming out.
So
and Zio, Zio, you're done! Zio, you gone too far, you done goofed!
Whoa, you cannot have yourself become separated from your turret as this weapon power jewel. You've got to be able to fall under that turret, especially when there are 3 members of C9 up on you.
No, 3 members, C9 up on you. You're going to be in trouble. That turret's down. C9, 2-0, 7.5 minutes in. We saw earlier, Sean, the weapon jewel paired up with the Lyra, which was really great to get onto the back lines and onto the Celeste. They were just portaling right on in and going to work. How do we want to deliver this jewel?
Well, this jewel is going to be delivered a little bit differently. Lyra has got that burst that potential burst of speed from the Imperial Sigil once it's popped. But here, the Rocket Leap and the Divine Intervention is going to play with each other a little bit more. The Divine Intervention is going to be able to slow down the targets, give a little bit of that Holy Shield to complement the heavy plating that D'Enzio's got on this weapon power jewel. So it's going to be a little bit of a different interaction. But we do have the Fortress, who's got that pack, I guess pack mentality. I forgot the name of the hero perk, but it's where they're running together as long as they're close together.
Right, so if he can apply that Truth of the Tooth onto a nice target, Jewel goes onto that target. You get Divine Intervention coming out from Max Green. Zio could be, quite the beast if they really are able to chain up some abilities here with nice timing. Old School won't probably be building much defense this game.
No, he probably won't, and that's one of the downfalls of the weapon power pedal, is that we've got to see the rest of his team protect him, and that's what they've been doing really well so far. We don't see any deaths for this weapon power pedal, and we've got 2 kills to the side of C9. It's been a really well played game by them so far, and they're
Gabe
up ahead.
Sees the target.
3,000.
He's got the stun, but the Rocket Leap is there. Zio able to reposition backwards, but once again, Cloud9 have control over the middle area of this map, over the Tri-Brush here. And so they make decisions on how the pace will go here in the game. Old School moves up to the lane. His teammates will follow, but consistently C9 is 1 step ahead.
I was going to say, look at that scout trap that's just sitting there for C9, and it's right in the middle. It's kind of in a place where you don't really expect it to be. It provided quite a bit of vision there, and they're feeling pretty confident right now. Not putting that much vision control over the map, but we do have... well, actually, I thought that was scout trap, but it was just a flare for Tribe. Not that much vision. And to be honest, I feel like Tribe is running scared here.
Be honest with me, Sean. Don't lie to me. That's all I ask of you. Gabe Vizzle's gonna walk right into the brush. Rocket Leap forward. Old School starting to get lit up. He moves back though. Nice stutter stepping Old School here with the divine intervention out onto Zio. He misses the Thunder Strike. He goes down. They pay for it, losing T Tigers as well. Max Green's gonna get caught by Joseph. Holy Nova buying a little bit of time here, but the Blast Trimmer comes through. Winter Spires, and you're done. That's an ace. 5-0 for C9.
Oh, this wave is getting pushed up so well by Old School right now. While the other members of C9, let's go ahead and take a look at the replay. So we had Tribe in that bush, and they engaged with exactly what they're supposed to do. They need to jump on Old School, but because, and we saw some burst healing with a Divine Intervention, but we just saw Gabe Vizzle just smacking him up from behind. You can't show your backside to anybody when you're a weapon power tool.
Backside, they go for it.
Yeah, really well played team fight, and they're so far 0-5 with this weapon power pedal. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a shutout here, or very few deaths on Old School for the rest of the game.
Oh, we're gonna see a shut. You're calling the shutout? All right,
I'm calling it.
Forward. There's Max Green getting lit up. Max Green, he's dead. Uh-oh, didn't have the fountain. This is a lot of damage going out on Old School. Can they keep him alive? A nice Valkyrie, just enough. Old School repositioning back. T Tigers will jump in, but he's just a double kill for Old School's statistics. Another ace, 8-0.
3-0-3 on this weapon power pew pew pedal. Ace minions coming up into the choke point turret. Oh man, it's looking pretty grim for the side of Tribe Gaming right now. 0-8 right now, 11.5 minutes in, and a 8th and gold lead for C9 right now. Feels good, man, if you're C9, and there goes that Sentry, defeated with 2 lives remaining.
I mean, honestly, that was just kind of bad timing. Poor timing, unfortunate timing for Tribe Gaming, because they didn't have Fountain. I think it was like 7 seconds off when that engage happened. So Max Green going down there, couldn't even heal himself. Now, C9, move up, Joseph's here, Rocket Leap forward. Zio, what's your target? He doesn't know, he switched around. The Divine Intervention keeps him alive for about a half a second. Team Tigers is dead as well. Double kill coming through one more time for Old School, who has a fresh weapon infusion as well. Pew! About halfway across the map, just chasing Max Green. I mean, we saw Old School's attacks flying as Lyra portaled away and killing her yesterday. That's gonna round up, playing a little sheepdog. Max Green gonna get taken down. That's another ace with 1 second on the respawn from Jewel. 11-0, Cloud9 in complete control, and you said maybe a shutout. I think you're right.
Complete and utter control here. I think that was 3 aces within the last 5 minutes, Humanist. This is astounding. We have 6-0-3 now on this weapon pedal. Rhyme's doing a lot of work there, too. They're working on this gold miner. Look at we have double tornado triggers, Sorrow Blade once again, and crit damage on this weapon power pedal. It's looking very, very bleak right now. D'Enzio and the rest of Tribe need to focus down this weapon power pedal. And what happened there? The turret took her out.
Yes. So, I mean, you know, these players are not robots. They have emotions. And I just gotta, you know, I have an inkling of a feeling that maybe emotions striking D'Enzio there.
It's full tilt here for the side of Tribe.
It's at least half tilt for Max Green, and he's a pretty chill guy. C9 move forward, erase him off the map. And Zio now, he's got a fresh infusion. He's ready to play games. He's level 9. This is gonna be tough. I mean, Cloud9, it's 13.5 minutes in. Like, they have so much damage. It feels like they can end the game, but no Kraken and no Crystal Sentry for them to take. They're just stacking up. Gabe Vizzle's heroic perk here, moving forward, maybe looking for chip damage. They're gonna move back, as now you have 3 for Tribe.
They're gonna move back because they know they have complete control. Tribe needs to make something happen. They need to dive. They need to get onto Old School. If they can get onto Old School, they can make something happen. But the lack of focus and it looks like miscommunication and mispositioning that's happening coming out of Tribe is what's really turning these games and continuing to have C9 snowball. If you look at the item advantage for
Zio.
Old School,
Zio is pissed off at these turrets. Look at Zio. Zio has figured out how to win the game. This is what he's gonna do now. I move forward. This is my Thunder Strike. This is my auto attack. My name is Zio. I am the 0 seed. I've gone down to the tier 2 turret. That feels bad, man.
This is my Thunder Strike. This is my gun. Coming out of D'Enzio right there. But it's still... I really don't think this is a smart move for them to be doing this. There's no way. They're just going to die. The respawn timers are going to keep going up.
So smart. His respawn timer is so short right now. Maybe it's genius. More treads in, though. Gabe Bizzle knows how to win this game. Old school. Ripping through about 400 per attack coming out. And now what's the play? Zio? He's making some bold moves. Rock leap over the wall. Stunned up. Divine intervention doesn't matter. Zio's dead. It looks like Zio's ready to get ready in for game 2 here. Trampoline over the wall. Old school chasing Max Green. Making Max Green not look tanky at all. And this is T-Tigers just buying some time here. Valkyrie. Got him.
Sentry eliminated.
Kraken is on the board now, and Sentry is eliminated. I feel like for C9, they're putting on a clinic here. This is just rinse and repeat with every team fight we're seeing here.
Yeah, rinse and repeat. I mean, the weapon pedal has insane damage. Like, you can tear people up with this build, but you have to be protected, and you have to have really good positioning and read of your opponents, like in and out of these fights. Old school, one of the best, and that's why his Vox is so good. He's doing great. Now trampoline forward, look at Zio getting lit up. 630, oh, 2 in a row, 630 damage. Oh my goodness. Old school lighting them up right now. Kraken's gonna march down the lane. This is gonna be C9's game in just a second, but will they have that perfect record like you called out, Sean?
The taunts, the charms coming out of Dienzio. He really wants them to come at him. He's like, come at me, bruh. I watch you face to face, man. But those 638 crits, they're just gonna follow him, even though he is rocket leaping away.
Yeah, and that's really no joke. This is gonna be Zio going one more time. He's trying to get on the school, but he can't find the damage. And that's actually going the way of Joseph. T-Tigers will be next to fall, or maybe they just ignore him and leave him for dead as Kraken is on the base of Tribe. It's 18-0. Over a kill a minute. I mean, Tribe just learned a lesson here.
You don't mess with the Pew Pew pedal, Humanist. Nobody messes with Pew Pew pedal. C9, this is why I ink tattoos on my arms for C9, because they rock the house. With this weapon power pedal, I have fell in love anew. Good game.
Well, Sean may be in love with the weapon pedal. I'm not. But I want to know what our analysts have to say about it. Munchables, take it away.
That was a bizarre game and a bizarre way to end the cast as well. But immediately, I just want to talk about something that happened during that game, because there was a weird interaction where Dienzio kind of just went on a solo mission to take out Torres. I suggested that it was maybe because he didn't want Cloud9 to have a perfect game, but Zoro, you have a bit of a better explanation for us.
Yeah, I mean, it's not trying to throw or anything like that. It's just the fact that they were so far behind. The gold that C9 were getting off of the kill he was given away was almost nothing. So he wanted to make a desperation attempt where he's getting a little bit of gold back to his team. As you can see, the team already knows to not go after him and just let him die. Max Green a little bit oversteps and he ends up falling for it too. But had Jewel been the only one killed, C9 wouldn't have been able to gain anything off of that kill. In return, Tribe would have gotten a turret.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, a valiant effort. At least they were being proactive still towards the end of the game, but let's not beat around the bush here. This was a pretty one-sided game towards Cloud9. Let's take a look at some of the stuff that was happening towards the early stages of the game. Obviously, with the Rhyme and the weapon power petal, it was very difficult to dive into this comp.
I mean, they were already using reflex blocks this early to block these stuns that were coming out from Jewel on those rocket leaps and be able to reposition and just immediately turn and take Dienzio down. He was dying so quickly in these fights because they just made sure that the stuns or the knockbacks, anything that would prevent them from being able to do damage were getting canceled out and blocked by reflex blocks and allowing them to then just provide full damage, because there is a little bit of a delay when you're a Jewel between when you land your rocket leap and when you can actually start dishing out damage again, and they were able to just completely take advantage of this.
I just feel like Tribe felt the pressure really early on. In that attempt, you could see it. Tribe didn't need to force that team fight. They thought they caught Rhyme and Petal out of position, but they didn't. They actually ended up getting out of position, because that's not a place where you want a team fight for the side of Tribe, because it's too close to the turret. Moving on to this replay though, this is another attempt where C9 are trying to get on Tribe. They catch Grace. They kill the captain that fast. That's the tankiest member on Tribe's team, and they kill him so fast. Then they start kiting away Jewel. Old School ends up living. He doesn't fall down, and then they move on to T-Tigers and Fortress and Cleanup. But what I was saying earlier is that Tribe they didn't need to force things as hard as they did, and I just feel like they're feeling too much pressure unnecessarily.
I mean, I think everyone that goes against Cloud9 feels pressure in these games, both inside the games and outside, just knowing that you're against Cloud9. This was the final fight that came on through. This is Cloud9 ending things right at the end of the game.
Yeah, and again, the Rocket Leap in doesn't connect onto anyone. They've already gotten out of harm's way, and then just kiting this out with the Rhyme and the Petal. They're forced to kind of chase. That's one of the reasons why Rhyme is so good into the melee compositions. We always talk about the fact that, everyone's just going to be grouped up on top of the Rhyme, and he can just get so much damage down. It's also the fact that if you do kite at all, they have to run through to get to you, and you're just putting down Winter Spires that they now have to run onto, get hit by the second proc, which does the most damage and gives you so much fortified health so that when they are now finally onto you, you've already got that fortified health built up. And it was just really well played by Joseph.
All right, now I have to ask you guys, what is it about this Cloud9 team that is so dominant in these games? Because when we look at the draft, if you see someone lock in a Rhyme and a weapon power Petal, honestly, like a week ago, if you told me this was going to happen, I would tell you that they were trolling. But Cloud9 seem to just be able to dominate with it. What is it about this team that makes that work?
I mean, it's just they're so confident in their skills, and they play to their strengths no matter what the comp is, no matter what the hero is. Petal is not a traditional weapon power carry, but they play to its strengths. Their strengths is well kiting, how strong her damage output is once you get those tornado triggers. And so they constantly think about what they need to do in the game, and they play to that strategy that they come up with. And that's what makes them the best in North America.
All right, well, we'll see if they can keep it up going into game number 2 in this series. What can be changed for Rogue then coming into this game? How can you draft against Cloud9? Is there anything you can do to build your own win conditions that they have to play around?
I feel like you almost have to go like with a safer composition if you're the side of Tribe. Like you can't really take a risk against Cloud9 because Cloud9 will take advantage of that and will show the weaknesses of it. So I feel like it's not an ideal situation. Like nobody wants to build a really safe, like defensive composition that's not flashy, that's not glamorous, but it might just be what can get you into the late game where you're fighting on more even footing against Cloud9.
Again, the Koshka ban comes out from Cloud9. It's again targeted at T-Tigers. He's an extremely strong player that has the potential to carry Tribe throughout the series, but he needs those heroes that he can carry with. Cloud9 not giving him Koshka. Catherine ban, Grace gets picked up. Cloud9 already building a composition where they can have an extremely strong frontline with the healing coming out of Grace, and we know Gabe Vizzle. This is one of the characters he performs the best on.
Well, the Petal has been picked up by Tribe as a first pick here. I don't know whether this is just like a anything you can do, we can do better kind of situation, but it's interesting that it's a first pick since it's something that, can be countered, but I think it plays into the conversation we were having in the last draft where if they can flex it to weapon power, the counters to CP Petal are not necessarily the same heroes.
Yeah, and some of the counters to Crystal Petal are weak to a weapon Petal, so it's kind of interesting that Petal used to only be specifically a counter pick to Kroll. It can now maybe start to be used a little bit more, a little bit more leniently by picking it up early. There's going to be the Adagio as well, so this is going to be a very, very interesting draft. I'm super curious to see how Tribe are going to round this out.
This is an Adagio captain that's going to be on max green most likely, and the reason why they picked it up is to deny it from Cloud9. You don't want to give Adagio Grace to any team, especially not Cloud9. How well Old School plays the Adagio pick and how well it combines with Grace. The synergy between the two heroes is extremely high. So I expect this to be a captain roamer, and it will probably go on max green.
All right, well, Idris going to be locked on in for Cloud9. We fully expect that to go over to Old School in the lane. Wouldn't be surprised to see that CP as well. And we've got that classic Idris and Grace combo that can be just so deadly.
Yeah, it's really devastating to deal with. And obviously, if it goes to the Crystal, Idris in the late game can take care of Petal very effectively, assuming it does end up being a Crystal Petal. Yeah, but you can still take care of Petal very effectively because Petal is so squishy. Like if you go weapon, she's very vulnerable. Doesn't have a whole lot of health. Doesn't have much defenses. And if you just get a Chakram onto her, that's going to be half her health gone in the late game. So either way, it's still Idris is just such a strong pick right now.
It for sure is. The only thing that could happen is if Petal does go weapon power, she has a huge advantage mid-game where her damage output can delete CP Idris. Glaive comes out as the final pick for Cloud9, and this already looks like a lot more serious draft and composition from Cloud9. CP Idris on lane with Glaive, weapon power in the jungle, and a Grace as the captain for Gabe Vizzle. It's well-rounded, it has early game aggression with the gank potential coming out from Glaive, and it has extremely strong late game scaling with the CP Idris and the Grace sustain.
The one thing that could be a concern for Cloud9 is when you go into a Petal as a Glaive, it's actually extremely easy to accidentally tap one of her Munions when you afterburn in instead of the Petal. That's really the only thing I can think of that could cause a problem for them in this composition. And it's such a minor thing that it feels weird saying that that's their biggest issue.
So my question is, do we see Tribe now lock in the Rhyme since we have two essentially melee? The answer is yes, they are going to lock in this Rhyme. It is going to be that Captain Adagio that you were talking about, Zorro, alongside potentially another weapon Petal.
I think it definitely will be a weapon power Petal. The biggest strength Tribe going to have are their early game and their mid game. If they don't abuse it enough, if they don't get enough of a lead, C9 will definitely overtake the game. At the same time, Cloud9 have a little bit of tools to fight back with the Glaive afterburns and the ganking potential. It can go either way.
All right, I'm excited to see how this Grace Idris Glaive comes into play as well. A lot of damage, a lot of front-loaded damage can come through later on into the game. It is just about time to jump into this one, though. Hashtag Vainglory8 on Twitter. Let us know whether you believe Tribe can pull themselves back into this series. It's time to pass it over to our casters once again, though, and get into game number 2.
Well, thank you very much, Munch. And that's right, Cloud9 versus Tribe here. We got our game 2, and hopefully Tribe been able to shake off that first devastating loss here. They've picked up the Petal themselves, Sean.
They have picked up the Petal themselves. I want to see this weapon power Petal and all its potential. Go ahead, why not? Copy the build. Let's see what the communication is, the strategy that holds up for Tribe. We're going to have to see Rhyme and Max Green here on this Adagio protect the Petal. And Gabe's diving in.
Interesting situation here. Dienzio knocked back. He's got the healing flask, but he's first blooded immediately. C9 striking like lightning. T-Tigers, he's on to old school. The Winter Spire's doing good damage. Max Green zoned out towards the east side. Now T-Tigers left for his zone in a 3-versus-1 situation. He's just going to spin circles, throwing Winter Spires, and C9 respected enough to drop back.
You gotta respect the weapon power Petal, but I don't know if it's the same in the hands of Tribe. C9, they've shown us 2 games in a row with this weapon power Petal doing so much work, but coming in here with the Glaive, we saw a different Glaive out of Xenotech yesterday, but this Glaive able to come in, reposition that Petal, and just cleave a path into the game win.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's gap closers on every hero that C9's drafted up. Like the captain, jungler, and carry can all get onto the Petal, and that was kind of where I was looking at it last game. Like, you had the weapon Jewel for Zeo, and if he can get onto the Petal, he'll probably blow her up, but they couldn't do that. I think this game C9 should probably find the openings.
Yeah, I think they will too, and all these gap closers are going to really work to their advantage. And not only do they have the gap closers, but they can, the Benediction like that, can go ahead and slow up the Petal as well, and provide that Holy Shield, that protection for the remaining members of C9.
Zeo holding down the lane by himself while down in the jungle. Tiggs and Max Green able to secure up the Elder Treant. Max Green with the secure middle area of the map. He moves up to go babysit Zeo a little bit, give him some healing, a little bit of buff. Make it easier for him to go ahead and last hit. Now Zeo's already used that healing flask early on in the game, so it's currently on cooldown. If he was engaged on, he'd probably go down.
Yeah, we're just going to have to see Zeo as the key to winning this game for Tribe right now. No pressure, man! Oh, Zeo's just going to have to farm up, and there's an engage here.
Yeah, Tiggs with the wind's not chill enough there to find the root, and C9 repositioned back into a better place. Joseph's made his way up into the lane. Look at, oh man, this Glaive skin is just monstrous. I actually love this skin right here. And of course, when you see Joseph on that Glaive, it just puts fear in your heart.
I love it too, and I'm actually a captain main myself, so getting the glaive and using it to reposition and with the utility that comes out of it, it's very, very good. You know, obviously we see Gabe Vizzle as the Grace captain here, but yeah, glaive's got a lot in his kit that can really work for engaging, disengaging, repositioning other heroes on the enemy team with that afterburn.
Tiggs is taking this time to go ahead and take the backs away from C9, so T-Tiger's able to actually sneak back over there. It's a good job for him.
Yeah, if you actually look over at Gabe Vizzle, we do see more of that aggression with that Dragon Blood contract coming out for him. That's again going to allow for a lot of engage onto this weapon power pedal, and that's if they can just shut down this weapon power pedal, that's going to be a good win for C9. And I feel like C9 in their scrims, they're practicing, they may have come across, you know, the fact that someone's going to take the weapon power pedal away from us, and they know the build. What are we going to do about it? So they've probably prepared for this situation, and we're going to see the outcome here pretty soon.
Yeah, I think you have to assume that it's probably played out that way, and with the composition, it really does make sense. Now, down in the jungle, T-Tigers have been spotted out. Dragon Blood contract applied. They had the root there on the Joseph. They're trading damage. Benediction up towards the lane as Tribe collapsed down as a unit. Joseph just kind of hanging out towards the safety of his Crystal Sentry, and Tribe can't find a kill. This is the Fountain now coming out for Max Screen, and Tribe kind of starting to hit a little power spikes.
Yeah, they're trying to. They're gonna hit those power spikes. We do have a Fountain on both. Well, actually, we don't have one yet for Gabe Vizzle, but he's working towards it. And a Sora Blade actually coming out for Dienzio. That's gonna allow this weapon power pedal to do a lot of damage. We do see T-Tigers working towards that Shatter Glass, it looks like, and he's sitting on about 1,000. The Idris just hit his power spike with that Shatter Glass. He's going to be able to get those ranged auto attacks in there and do a lot of burst damage with those chakrams.
Yeah, of course, unlocking the divergent paths is extremely useful for the Idris, so he's got the ranged attacks now. Let's see, trying to contest taking away the healing camp in the mid here, but swing and a miss on that. They're right back up into the lane, and of course Old School drops down with Joseph into the jungle, but they're kind of getting trolled out because the camps haven't spawned yet, so Old School actually wasting time there.
Yeah, wasting a little bit of time there. Look over it. There's a lot of aggression here, and Gabe Vizzle's going in.
Dragon Blood contract on 3. Tiggs getting lit up. The afterburn. Tiggs not completely back. He wants Old School. He stays alive, but not long enough. And Dienzio really just hanging out on the back edge of this fight. Can't apply enough damage. Cloud9, find another kill.
Oh, man. See, the thing with Rhyme is that he's got to go in there. He likes to be on top of these team fights. So having him go in too deep versus the members of C9 feels pretty bad, man. He's too early in game right now, and he needs to be able to get that fortified health up if he's going to be able to sustain in these team fights.
Yeah, I think also, I mean, just kind of like poor timing for him, or unfortunate timing, that he would have wished to move up there and not get blown up immediately with all of that damage. And Rhymes is kind of, it's a different story if you go into the fight with 50% health versus, 75 up to 80, or, towards 100%.
We do see Dienzio working on that sharpshooter. It looks like he's going to be going towards he's got Blazing Salvo now, so he's probably going to be working towards that attack speed. Tornado Trigger coming our way. That's what's going to allow another big power spike. They're working on this gold miner.
Yo, this gold miner's potentially going to get stolen away here. Zio's able to secure that, but the fight is on. Zio jumps onto Joseph. Joseph gets the Divine Intervention, knocks Zio back with that afterburn. Old School Shimmer striking around Zio with the reflex down into the brush. Gabe Vizzle gets him with the Holy Nova. Old School, one more attack, he'll go down. T-Tigers has got it. They're going to lose Max Green, and now T-Tigers against 2 here. We believe in you, T-Tigers. You can do it. Joseph, I think he popped that healing flask just now, so he's going to continue to get regen. T-Tigers has to land his Winter Spires. No, he won't. Joseph has the afterburn. They have the kill. And this is going to put C9 up 5-1, 7 minutes in.
5-1, 7 minutes in, Humanist, and the gold's pretty even right now for the net worth. But what I saw in that team fight was I Love Joseph waiting for Dienzio to trampoline away. We know in the previous matches that we've seen that pedal trampolining away is one of the big moves to reposition and continue doing damage. But because I Love Joseph knew it was coming out, he repositioned with the punt from the afterburn, and they just continued to aggress upon Dienzio, took him out, and therefore the rest of the members of Tribe fell.
I think that's really smart, predictive play, and like you said, they're playing it to a high level, so they know how to counter it out. And it's just really coming into true form for these guys right now. I think C9, just such an incredible team. I did expect Tribe to put up a little bit better of a fight than what we've seen in Game 1 and thus far in Game 2.
We do see a Crucible on Max Green right now, so if he's going to make anything happen as the captain, he's going to have to use that fountain, use the Crucible in a timely manner, block those afterburn punts. Once he's able to block those and keep D'Enzio healthy, we're going to probably be able to see a little bit of a turnaround here from Tribe.
It feels like Zio is just so far behind right now, though. Like, compared to the item spikes in Game 1 coming out of Old School, like, he's doing okay in the farm. He's not doing very good, very great in his farm, but he's also not getting the rotations through the jungle, which is putting him a little bit behind.
Yeah, if you actually look at his CS right now, it's actually pretty even with Old School, but it feels bad, man, because I don't know if they're going to be able to keep this up for very long.
Well, right now, Cloud9 collapsing down upon Tribe. Dragonblood contract applied to T-Tigers. C9 can look to just kind of chip at this turret if they choose, or maybe just wait for someone to get out of position, reposition them with the afterburn, or just go ahead and have everybody dive on them all at once. Move down into the Tribe Rush. He'll pop off that scout trap there, so Max realizes how C9 have rotated, but they don't currently have vision, and there's no flare for Max. If they want to walk in there, they kind of have to face check the brush. Nice chakrams coming out from Old School. You have to respect the damage coming out. He's going for the AC next.
Yeah, he's going for that alternating current. That's going to allow him to do so much quick damage with these ranged auto attacks coming out of the CP Idris. They're working on this gold miner now.
Yeah, Tribe realize what's going on. They're going to move in here. Max Green, what's the play? They get the afterburn back onto T-Tigers. That's not Zio. Zio's free to do damage. T-Tigers is going to stay alive. He gets the fountain. Oh, a big first judgment comes through from Max Green. And Gabe Fizzle's dropping low. They've got two. A double kill coming through for Zio. He trampolines forward. He wants more. Is he going to get it, Sean? Yeah, he's got that spontaneous combustion. Old School's trying to find the damage. Gold Miner's even working for Cloud9. But they're going to find the ace. They're going to get the Gold Miner as well. And I bet you they're going to move up into the lane and take a turret here.
Wow, what an ace coming out of Tribe. Really well done. Let's go ahead and take a look at that replay. So we saw here that C9 working on that gold miner, throwing a little chakram dance going on. But once we got in there, we did see the punt. But this is what they forgot about. They forgot about D'Enzio. He's there in the tri-brush doing so much damage, continuing to hit up the members of C9. And because they forgot about him this time, they didn't save the afterburn for him. It was a win for Tribe. Really well played in that team fight.
Yeah, that felt like night and day compared to how C9 were approaching the fights previously. Joseph was showing great patience before, but he immediately afterburned T-Tigers back, and with that Eve of Harvest, with the healing coming out immediately from Max, they kept the Rhyme alive so beautiful. Now, Tribe, definitely a huge momentum swing. They have the net worth advantage. They're down 4-6 overall in the kills, but this is anybody's game at this point. Tribe, how do you want to play this out? T-Tigers zoning with Winterspire's trampoline forward from Zio onto Old School. Afterburn kind of knocks Zio into a better position. Holy Nova. Gabe winds up. Divine Intervention out on Joseph, keeping this glaive nice and alive. Old School, he's able to get back with a Shimmer Strike. He's got the positioning that he's looking for. Zio, you're in trouble, my friend. He gets the heal, but I don't think he tried. Yes, he can! Oh, the pedal's so good! Zio, does he have the damage on the Gabe Fizzle? Yeah, he's got it. Triple kill as Tribe come racing back into this game.
Anything you can do, I can do better. That's D'Enzio right now. Feels pretty good, man. Complete opposite. And this turret is going down with these ace buff minions and all these attacks coming out of this pedal. Really well done. Oh my goodness. And there, if you're C9 right now, feels pretty bad, man, that they took that weapon power pedal away from you and they're kind of schooling you with it.
Schooling? Well, maybe. I mean,
kills are 7-7.
This is a very even game. Even though Tribe are putting together a couple fights, this could very easily go the other way. I mean, that came down to, it was like one auto attack coming, Old School or Zio. Like, whoever got it first was going to find the kill there.
Yeah, and I love Joseph too. What he actually did, you pointed it out even during that team fight, was he punted D'Enzio back. You don't want to punt D'Enzio back. You want to punt him into your teammates so that you can do even more heavy damage on him. Just allowing the pedal to kite from you. Ooh, this looks like it could be an engage.
Flare is out. Max is right there. He's going to wind up with the burst of judgment. Zio, he's back with the trampoline. Spontaneous combustion coming out. Old School's looking for Zio. Zio dropping the stutter step, but it's not enough. Divine Intervention keeps Joseph alive. Max Green and T-Tigers have to juggle this damage. They're going to hang around here. T-Tigers, he's on to Old School. He's got one. He's looking for more. Joseph doesn't have the damage to trade with T-Tigers like that.
Whoa, the fortified health coming out from this Rhyme is unbelievable. And that time, we actually saw Old School focus down Dienzio, throwing out those ranged auto attacks, and that was Dienzio's downfall right there. Really well played. The alternating current, Shatter Glass is a really good power spike for Old School, and if he can continue to do that, kite around the fight, reposition with those Shimmer Strikes, he's going to be able to take down Dienzio.
Yeah, he absolutely will be. But right now, Tribe playing these fights very well. Also, you know, the thing is, Rhyme himself is very durable. He has a lot of sustain when he builds in with his Eve. But paired up with the Adagio and Max Green's mechanical abilities and reflexes, it is so incredibly hard to take him down. T-Tigers is doing great work. Zio's just getting stronger and stronger. He's going for that third crit item now. You'd expect Tyrant's Monocle to come out here, and plus an infusion, these guys are completely ready to go.
Yeah, they're completely ready to go. 6 kills, 3 deaths on Dienzio right now. Oh man, I'm excited to see what the rest of this game has. We're 1 minute away from the Kraken spawning onto the Halcyon Fold. 4,000 gold lead in advantage of the side of Tribe. But yeah, it still could all change if Old School continues to reposition with Shroud stepping, getting on the back line. It could be a really good fight coming up.
Yeah, there could be a really good fight coming up, but, you know, Zio's positioning has been great thus far. If he gets caught one time, they are going to just get deleted. Old School doing a pretty good job. One of the big power spikes we see, of course, for the Idris is getting that Broken Myth out. And he's really... Well, I didn't look into his bank account there. No, he actually has enough money to purchase it. I was gonna say, just looking at his items, he was kind of far away.
Yeah, he just picked it up right now, Humanist. And that gold miner action went over to Tribe. So that's going to increase their gold lead, but still, this could be anybody's game. If Old School gets in there, he's going to be able to ramp up these Broken Myth stacks with those chakrams, with those auto attacks. He's going to be doing massive damage. We know how much CP Idris has been affecting these games here in the competitive scene, and it's only going to continue.
Yeah, he wants an infusion, but so does T-Tigers. I'll be surprised if this fight does break out here in the next few seconds. Both these guys know that they don't have their infusions up and ready to go. Joseph and Gabe Bizzle will hang out, keeping vision on the map. Dienzio immediately just trampolines in. He sees an opening, he's just trampoline in, pew, 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 lights him up.
The good thing about that trampoline is it has such a low cooldown that he's able to use it to reposition very effectively.
John, this is going to be sketchy. Gabe Bizzle's going to boot in here. He's got the Benediction out. Winds up with the Holy Nova. Catches 2. T-Tigers, but they turn around. Zio is just locked on. Can they keep him down? Divine Intervention found. It's not enough. Old School Shimmer Strikes back. Zio's trading. He finds the kill. Actually, Adagio got one. Max Green got a T-Tigers on the chase. Just tapping Isle of Joseph. And Joseph is there with the defensive afterbirth. But this is going to be the Kraken going the way of Tribe as Zio stays...
C9.
C9. C9? Oh, my goodness. Sometimes you don't see things in the heat of the moment. I was like, man, he's just going to capture this up. No, he's going to take this down for free. This is just their 401k investment.
Yeah, if you have the Kraken and you don't at least push 2 turrets with it, it's not a good investment. It's not worth it, right? So it's going to be 500 gold actually just going over to the members of Tribe, increasing their net worth in this game, their gold lead. Oh man, Dienzio doing some work here with this weapon power pedal, and he just picked up the Tyrant's Monocle. He's going to be able to crit even better now.
Crit even better. even better crits. I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. We saw at the end of last game was 638 damage coming out on some of those crits, like back-to-back crits. Of course, I mean, you're critting like every time you hit now.
Oh yeah, yeah, and if he can actually, it looks like he's got tier 2 boots there. If he can actually pick up maybe, I would say journey boots would be good. He's got that weapon infusion, so he's going to do even more damage now. It's going to be pretty good for him in this game. We have 3 turrets for the side of C9, 5 up for Tribe, and they're spotted out in this bush.
See, Tribe pushing their advantage forward. Looks like C9 are ready to fight. Old School starting to stack up on this Broken Myth. T-Tigers boots forward. He's looking for a target. He's looking for Old School. But Zio, what's the play? Zio had a trampoline back, but he switches over to Joseph. Divine Intervention onto Old School. Keeps him alive. Zio's just barely staying alive. He switches over now to Gabe Bizzle. Gabe Bizzle getting absolutely lit up. Old School doing enough damage? No, not enough. T-Tigers will take him down. They lose Max Green, but that is the ace for Tribe as they'll march forward with the aced lane minions now. 14-9, about 18 minutes into this one. Choke point turret's going to go down, and Sean, did Tribe look to just close this one out?
Though I think they're gonna try at least. We have the Death Tigers.
They're gonna split the turrets down.
Split it.
Tribe doing it, man!
doing
my goodness. Okay, so you can lose a game 18-0 and come back and win game 2 if you get the weapon pedal.
Woo! The weapon pedal critting here, finishing off in style. Well done. Despite the repositioning that was happening early game from the side of C9, Dienzio and the rest of Tribe were able to take the game away from them, and now the series is tied up 1-1. What an exciting match, Humanist.
What a phenomenal matchup. I can't believe that I actually missed that Kraken steal right there in the middle of the fight. But either way, an incredible game. We have a great series on our hands here. To go ahead and break this one down, we'll throw it over to Munchables and the analysts.
That horrible feeling when Weapon Petal is here to stay, and you guys are going to be seeing it in solo queue. Dienzio pulling it out and pulling up a scoreline as well. We're going to 3 games on this one, and we're seeing the meta shift right before our very eyes.
Yeah, I mean, I expect Petal to be banned. Like, I fully expect a Petal ban to come through in Game 3 of this matchup.
I mean, it's very possible because both teams have won with it so far.
Yeah.
For Old School and Dienzio, it's becoming a contested pick, and it can be banned.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't even know where to begin with trying to analyze this. I know you have some things you want to talk about later on with that, but let's talk about some of what happened early on in the game, because Cloud9 did start things off strong around 6 minutes on into the game. This is where we saw the first fight for a gold miner.
Yeah, and the gold mine pressure, again, they're trying to get that payout. It gets stolen by Dienzio, and now the fight is on. And it looks pretty good for the side of Cloud9. Dienzio gets taken out in this rush, but then T-Tigers with the rhyme, able to find himself a couple of kills, but it was really well played here in the 2v1 situation because there was a chance for T-Tigers to take this, a 2v1 situation, but they were able to use those stuns wisely. T-Tigers staying just out of range until the Afterburn is ready to re-engage.
Honestly, like for all players in this game, positioning was absolutely key. When you have players and heroes like this in the game, then it's incredibly important that you can position correctly, especially with things like the Petal, things like the Glaive, where you are on the map. From and to is incredibly important, being able to chain those CCs. Now, we're going to be looking a little bit deeper into this weapon power Petal pick and why it actually exists here, why these players are playing it. It's not just kind of a funny troll pick. There is actually an increased attack ratio and range that you get when you use that trampoline. And I'm not really the guy to explain this to you, and we have a much more capable expert on the scene who's going to be able to talk you through some of the action. So I'm going to pass it back over to Araki Zori to explain the situation.
All right, everyone, we're going to be breaking down this team fight for you because it's such an important team fight for Tribe that allowed them to come back into the game. And before we get into it, I want to talk about something. Petal is actually a very legit pick because her trampoline, once it's overdriven, not does it only give her increased auto attack range, 1.2 auto attack range, adding up to a total of 7.0, almost as long as Baron's auto attack range, but it also gives her 20% weapon power damage output increase. So it's a very, very legit laner pick now, and we can see it from multiple teams. So we're going to roll this pick here, and we're going to see that C9 start the gold mine because they're trying to snowball the game. They're trying to close it out a little bit. They start the gold mine, trying to contest. One thing to note is Gabe Vizzle doesn't have a crucible yet, and we're going to notice Max Green right here. He's going to ultimate, and because there is no crucible, all of Cloud9, the ones that don't have any reflex blocks, are going to end up being stunned. And that's at the same time going to allow Petal to use her trampoline and output the damage to clean up the team fight. So I'm going to clear it here, and we're going to roll the clip slowly. And you can see Dienzio uses his trampoline and starts focusing Glaive. They're both stunned. There is nothing to stop Dienzio from cleaning up, and that's how they start winning the team fight. Out here, the Gabe Vizzle uses his Atlas. While it reduces the attack speed coming from Petal, it's a little bit too late, and at this point, the team fight was already lost. Rhyme also ends up taking a little bit too long for Cloud9 to kill, so Petal cleans up the weapon power. Petal, the pick that you do not expect, shows up big, and this was one of the team fights that turned the game for Tribe and allowed them to come back and eventually take the game. Thank you so much, and we're going to throw it back to Munchables now.
Thank you very much, Zoro. Thank you for that awesome breakdown. And you could see in that final moment where Old School is on his Idris, you see the hope leave his eyes as he's bodied by his own weapon power petal pick. But it was an exceptional game coming out from Tribe. I have to say, incredibly impressive stuff. Let's take a look at a triple kill that came out from D'Enzio in this one. This was an incredibly close fight as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is another one where it could have gone either way, but D'Enzio just kind of being untouched. No one's even close to being able to target him until Old School jumps through to the back lines, but once he does, D'Enzio trampolines the opposite direction to buy himself just that little bit of extra time, and it was key, just being able to avoid the damage that Cloud9 was going to be able to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, honestly, I'm incredibly impressed by both teams in this matchup so far, and I don't know what to expect coming into this next draft. We've already mentioned about the fact that Petal might be another major ban coming on through, but Koshka has been a focus ban. We'll talk more about the draft there. Zoro, talk me through one of these final team fights.
This is one of the later team fights in the game, and it's the same case scenario. D'Enzio uses his trampoline. Glaive tries to get on top of him, but D'Enzio manages to kite away. They focus Glaive, take him down first, then move on to D'Enzio first, and then they switch to Gabe Vizzle. Gabe Vizzle, while he can provide a lot of support, himself is not very tanky. We've mentioned this before. If Grace gets focused, she can't survive for too long in the team fights. She can provide a lot of sustain for her teammates, but she can't survive too long. So it was a great team fight from Tribe, managing to use the Petal to their advantage just by kiting away, uses the buff that she gets from trampoline, winning the team fight, going on, finishing the turrets and finishing the crystal or the Vein Crystal afterwards to win this incredible game.
Yeah, incredible coming out from them. Tribe are going to even things up in this series, and that means we're going to game number 3. And we need to start to talk about the draft and specifically these bans. Now, we already mentioned Petal could be a ban coming in. I want to talk about this Koshka ban that's come in every single game from Cloud9. Does that have to be on Koshka? Is T-Tigers enough of a threat that they can warrant that every single game?
I don't think it does. Obviously, you're very concerned about this Koshka pick, but you want to. I think you have to just take this Petal away. Although it's going to be more on the side of Tribe to see if they're willing to take that Petal first pick on A side. We haven't seen it be an A side pick yet. It's always been towards the B side. So I'm going to be very curious to see what does exactly get focused here. But if I'm Cloud9, I ban away the Petal. I take a chance on the Koshka going through.
Yeah, Adagio going to be the first ban coming through here, and then Grace as well will be the ban answering for that one. Interesting that we see the Adagio so early on in the draft.
This could be that they're letting both the Koshka and the Petal through and saying, you take one, we're going to take the other. I'm curious to see how the Koshka would actually do into the Petal, because one of the big reasons why Petal has been so strong as a weapon carry is the fact that it's been able to avoid taking damage, and Koshka could just jump onto that Petal.
I want to throw a theory out here, boys, and I want you to tell me how wrong I am. This is going to be a CP Vox to go against the Petal, so you can cleave all the damage out. What do you reckon?
I mean, it could work, but I don't expect it, because if anything, Petal can just stop putting out minions and she can just rely on hot auto attacks, especially since she's weapon power. The thing is, Vox, while is being picked by Cloud9 as a counter to Petal in the lane, especially since Old School is extremely confident on this hero, Petal actually is going to do incredibly well against Vox, especially once you go into the later stages, just because of that attack range that we just mentioned. When she uses trampoline, her attack range becomes 7.0 meters. That's almost as long or as big of a range as Baron's when he has maxed his ultimate. So she can definitely counter him in the sense that staying away from him and just dealing damage without taking any back.
And I'm wondering if this is Cloud9. You know, they've said in interviews that they're trying things out, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. They had to have wanted Tribe to pick up this Petal because they didn't ban the Koshka or the Petal on their first rotation, and then they banned away the Koshka. So it wasn't that they wanted the Koshka for themselves, but they had to have known that Petal was likely to be first pick. So I think this is them either trying something that they feel like will be a counter to that Petal and trying to see if it will actually work as a counter to the Petal. So I'm curious to see what the rest of this draft is going to shape up like.
The Lyra coming through for Cloud9, very solid pick, very defensive. Oh, here we go. Now we've got a Fortress locked in for Tribe, turning this into already a very aggressive
now you really
composition.
go with the Crystal Vox.
I mean, Crystal Vox is one of my favorite heroes against Fortress and Petal, especially when they're combined, because there are so many units that you can bounce off of the damage that comes out of Crystal's bounce damage. So the thing is, Tribe, first game they used the Fortress. They didn't use it very well. On top of that, it takes away T-Tigers from a carry that, or a hero that he can carry with in the jungle. Unlike the Rhyme, where we saw last game, he was able to do quite a bit in the game. Fortress is pretty one-dimensional. He has to do one specific things, and he can't do too many other things other than it. So Arden coming up as a last pick for Tribe. It's a good overall composition, especially with the Petal that's going to be building double Tornado triggers in the first place. But at the same time, I don't like putting T-Tigers on such a passive pick.
Now, I want to talk about the Cloud9 picks here, because this is actually a pretty defensive composition coming out for them. Samuel, Vox, and Elira it's kind of one of these keep them at arm's length and play the siege type compositions, but we're used to seeing them going all the way and being super aggressive. What do we expect to see out of them?
It feels like a lot of the kind of AoE damage and kiting, saying, okay, you want to try and jump in on Petal, we're going to just move the fight somewhere else, force you to have to chase after us, use that trampoline to just cover distance, and then when it's not available to reposition you in the fight, that's when we'll go back in and engage. That's what it feels like to me, at least. It's going to be interesting to see if that's how it actually pans out.
For sure.
Yeah, all right. We'll see if they're going to be able to bring that one to pass. It's time to get into game number 3 of this semi-final. Hashtag Vainglory8. Let us know who you think is going to take this one, but it's time to hit the map, and it's time to pass it to Humanist and Sean Ostino.
That's right, Munchables. We're going to hit the map for Game 3 between Tribe and Cloud9. Now, I'd say right now, Sean, if you were in Twitch chat, hit 1 for Tribe, hit 2 for Cloud9. And if you were in there, Sean, which one of those would you be hitting?
Oh man, it's a really difficult decision for me, Humanist, but I think I'm going to go the way of Tribe because we've just been seeing this weapon Petal destroy over and over again. It doesn't matter whose hands she's been in for the last 3 matches that Petal's been winning. It just goes back and forth. So I want to see Dienzio do another awesome play this game, another bunch of awesome plays with this Pew Pew Petal. But we actually see, interestingly enough, we saw them talking about a CP Vox. He's not CP Vox. He's actually going. He could be going the weapon power route, unless he's just going with the sharpshooter for some auto attack damage or damage per second.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, if you go CP, you would pick that up. Doesn't hurt to pick it up as weapon either. Of course, just a little attack speed is what Vox needs. Like, I don't know. I don't think it really makes sense to go down the CP route. We'll see. We'll find out. It will all be illuminated in due time.
It will be illuminated. The pulse, the resonance bounces could be destroying tons of wolves and Petal Munyon. So we'll see what happens about that. Oh, picking up some energy. It looks like a light shield actually on Dienzio here. A double weapon blade. Working towards that Sorrow Blade. It's going to be nice to see that come out.
Yeah, I like the light shield pickup. Helps him up in the lane as, of course, you know, the attacks, the bouncing attacks coming out of Vox are going to be hitting him. So a nice pickup there. They're just going to go ahead and look to just trade and farm up in the lane. But down in the jungle, Gabe Bizzle and Joseph move forward, kind of flexing, attempting to maybe take away the mids here as T-Tiger is waiting for the last hit. Yeah, he's got it on that one. Max Green gives him the Vanguard. Dienzio trampolines down from the lane. Now, C9 have the positioning. Have they cut T-Tigers off, or will T-Tigers find the damage? They turn around. Old School's here. He's full health. He's got the pulse out. Dienzio dropping low. Trampolines over the wall. They've turned it around. Gabe Bizzle's down. First blood for Tribe this game. And I think Joseph and Old School will get out of here. Yes, they will. And look at that synchronized porting home.
Yeah, they're going to get out of here. Gabe Bizzle actually looks like he's definitely picking up some boots now and some reflex block. He doesn't want to get caught out. We know that Lyra is one of those squishier captains, right? So he needs to be able to be careful when he's frontlining for his team. Looks like he could be working towards a Crucible there to go ahead and get that higher burst healing coming out of his Imperial Sigils. We do see Dienzio picking up that 6 sins now. A little bit closer to that Sorrow Blade power spike that this weapon power Petal has been getting in the last several games. Stormguard banner on T-Tigers is going to help him to farm away and continue to clear his jungle a little bit faster.
Yeah, it will. What do you think about the idea, like, of completing the Storm Crown? Does that make sense? Do you like that, or are you one of those guys that's like, I think Stormguard banner into your next item?
I think Storm Crown is actually good, and it works well on Fortress because you get that higher true damage coming out of him, and you get the cooldown reduction coming out for his abilities. And we know if he could just spam out his abilities, that's going to make a pretty big difference when he's diving into these fights to help his teammates.
Yeah, especially late game, and you get like attack in the pack just to scout, and then another one during the fight. Now, T-Tigers taking a lot of damage here. They're doing their best to go ahead and protect this tier 1 turret. Now, in this last update, it had reduced HP, so it's a little bit easier to take down. You can see C9 taking advantage of that. Old School just continuing to zone out and take these lane minions down, so they're going to shut this. It looks like C9 will take this turret here with this wave.
Wow, this is going to be a pretty... If they take this now, it's going to be a pretty good clear for them. This siege composition that they have is working wonders. Old School on this Vox. I Love Joseph getting really good mouse and verdicts. The turret's destroyed now, 4 minutes in. If you're CE9 right now, feels pretty good.
Yeah, it feels real good. And, you know, of course, like, with reduced healing in this update as well, I think going back to this classic composition of the Samuel and Lyra makes a lot of sense. That's so much just built-in sustain right there.
Yeah, he's going to be sustaining out of his Drifting Dark, and he's also going to be doing a lot of ranged attack damage as well. With Lyra, she's already got that Crucible. Gabe Vizzle's going to be able to pop those Imperial Sigils and do a lot of burst healing, especially when it gets up to late game as well, and he's invested a lot of points in there. He's already got 3 points invested into that Imperial Sigil, so he's going to have it come up pretty quickly, and he's going to be able to get that burst healing down very easily.
Yeah, it's going to be so good for them. And Old School saved up a ton of gold. He just one-shots the Poison Shiv, and he'll be getting into his next item shortly here. But Old School, he's got his own sustain now. So C9, really, this whole team's all about just sustaining.
It's all about sustaining, it's all about siege. That's why they were able to take that turret down so quickly, and they need to take every advantage that they can here. That's why they're aggressing into the jungle.
Well, T-Tiger is able to actually get his mid there as Gabe Vizzle and Joseph were paired up, trying to bully him out of there.
Wow, Dienzio has actually already got his Sorrow Blade coming out, so that's good power spike for that weapon pedal. Another siege coming here onto this turret.
Yeah, they're going to hang around. T-Tigers has his ultimate ready to go. They're going to jump in, Truth the Tooth onto Old School. Dienzio trampolines forward, wait for it, it's out. T-Tigers dropping a little bit low. That will force out the Fountain. Now Max Green is actually Vanguard's on cooldown. They're chased forward. Max Green's getting lit up. He's going to go down probably, yeah. Healing Flask, but not enough to keep him alive there. And Max Green making a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, caught out of position there, and he burned a lot of his resources too to stay alive, but it didn't end up paying off for him. Another siege coming from C9 onto this turret, and Dienzio is going to have to play it pretty safe here. He's not quite at those power spikes that we want him to be with that tornado triggers. Those tornado triggers and critical strikes coming online. So it looks like C9 is just going to go ahead and steal away those jungle camps from Tribe.
Now, tell me the truth, Sean. Are you picking Weapon Pedal next ranked game you play?
I don't play Weapon Pedal. I'm a captain by nature, but I expect to see a lot of Weapon Pedal auto-locked when we go into ranked games.
Yeah, just prepare for it. Because at this rate, I mean, usually C9 and then Tribe take it and win back-to-back. Now, if Tribe win this, it is going to be all Weapon Pedal.
How about casual matches? I'll go a casual match and I'll pick up Weapon Pedal.
You know,
I'll feel
whatever
better.
you got to do, practice it, then take it in rank and pick it.
There you go.
All right. C9 move forward, Weapon Infusion out onto Old School. Old School's ready to go. He will have significant damage as he gets in there. Joseph, just a little Malice and Verdict, proccing the Corrupted Genius, making sure he sustains himself up consistently. Just so efficient.
Yeah, just so efficient. Look at Dienzio. He's working towards that tornado trigger again. He's got the sharpshooter in his pocket. He also has a weapon infusion, so he's going to be able to pop that at level 6 right now, do some extra damage.
Is that a sharpshooter or a swift shooter?
Swift shooter. Have I been saying it wrong? I have been saying it wrong
2 days.
for. Thank you so much for correcting me, Humanist.
We do it for the fans.
I've been jumping all over it, bouncing all over it, and I haven't quite hit the mark with that particular item. Yeah,
You know,
swift shooter.
You might as well be a sharpshooter when you pick up the swift shooter.
So yeah, a little bit of a trade here. Tribe's a little bit low, but they look like they might be engaging. No, it doesn't look like it. So
Tribe dropping down. Tribe look like they want to fight now.
Oh,
a nice fight. The Gauntlet's down as well. Zeal wants Old School. He's onto the target right here. He's kind of actually, did he get stunned up on the edge of it? Oh, beautiful Oblivion comes out here. Joseph is going to just pick Tribe apart now. They're able to take Old School down, but it looks like they're going to lose 3 on the side of Tribe. T-Tiger's got pretty good damage off at the end, but a double kill coming through Joseph. What an Oblivion.
What an Oblivion. They took out Dienzio. That's what they needed to do. They don't want the damage and auto attacks coming out of this weapon powered pedal. So putting him to sleep was actually the perfect thing to do. So let's go ahead and take a look at the replay here. So we actually saw them aggressing into there. The Gauntlet comes down, the Sigil gets popped, then the Oblivion gets down, puts 2 of the members to sleep for the side of Tribe, and that's what killed that weapon power pedal.
Oh man, that Oblivion was absolutely perfect. And
Double kill.
it's really
Ace.
cool. I like how people, of course, use this properly in these fights. Like, sometimes people use it to engage, other times just drop it right there. Hold that thought. Old school, getting engaged upon. The Wolves are out here. Zio trying to lock on, but he's too squishy. He'll go down first now. It looks like T-Tigers is able to get a kill, but a double kill comes through for Joseph one more time here. Now Max Green's going to play Ring Around the Rosie with the Crystal Sentry, hoping that it's going to be enough to get him a Vanguard and get out of here. No, Max! He's doing his best. He actually pops a fountain, keeps himself alive. I thought maybe he would fountain and get out of there. Max, what's the play? Crystal Sentry's going to go down. Max, don't lose your life, buddy. Don't do it. Mouse inverted coming up in 1 second. He's going to juke, dive, duck, dodge, corrupt genius. And his teammates have respawned, so there's going to be no ace coming through. A mouse takes it. Verdict is that he's dead.
So much time burnt by the members of C9 hunting down Max Green. I think it was worth it, man. No ace coming through for them, but now they're going to be able to work on this gold miner now and get themselves a little bit of an extra payout. Looks like it's going to be uncontested, Humanist.
Absolutely uncontested. And this game, it feels like, it could really go either way. C9 have had control in the last few fights, but that's because Zio's really not at that weapon pedal power spike. And that's not something that I like saying.
No, he's not at that weapon pedal power spike. Oh man, it sounds like a little bit of
power spike.
It sounds a little bit alliterative there. But yeah, you know what? I think we may have a good composition coming out of C9 for this weapon power pedal. We know that weapon power pedal likes to reposition. Old school on this Vox, good at repositioning too, good at kiting for the Samuel. If they're able to keep their distance from pedal, then they may be able to shut Dienzio down before he hits those late game power spikes.
I mean, the Lyra as well. Bright Bulwark kind of shuts down the mobile abilities out of all of these heroes on Tribe. So yeah, a nice Bright Bulwark can be really good.
Yeah, a well-timed Bright Bulwark can be really good at effectively stopping Vanguards, Gauntlets, could even stop the trampoline for repositioning for Dienzio. It could shut down the entire team of Tribe.
And Tribe currently playing it pretty safe here. They've had 2 turrets taken down on their side. C9 had an opening in the last few engagements. Now, Broken Myth for Joseph. This is going to be intense damage coming out. Pretty fresh infusions for both Joseph and Old School. You can tell that Cloud9 understand they need to keep the pressure on right now.
Yeah, they need to keep the pressure on, and they're doing well right now. They have the gold in their advantage, about 4,000. 2 turrets are down for the side of Tribe. They're aggressing onto this choke point a little bit, but they're going to just rotate down. Look at the health that is on the side on Gabe Dizzle right now. He's got War Treads, he's got Crucible. Crystal Sentry goes down. 1 life remaining for the Tribe Crystal Sentry. He's going to be able to get some really good burst heals coming out of these Imperial Sigils.
And Zio, I mean, what's going to happen when Gabe ports in with the Atlas Pauldron?
Yeah, that's going to be really deadly. If he ports in with that Atlas Pauldron, gets it off, it's going to reduce that attack speed coming out of Dienzio, and he's not going to be able to have the same impact in this game.
T-Tigers looking for an opening. It's going to be Max Green over the wall with the Gauntlet. Old School reflexes, just walks right through. Gabe Dizzle, he's going to troll him out with the Arcane Passage. And really throw that the Bright Bulwark actually down. Old School, Sonic zooming through the fight, but Joseph actually goes down. Dienzio's finding the damage. The weapon pedal has come alive. 1 second for another trampoline. There you go. He's boosted up with the damage. Zio finding, I think, 1 went to T-Tigers, one to Zio there, but Tribe, an incredible fight as they find 2.
Yeah, an incredible fight, and it was really great to see T-Tigers doing some work too. He actually dove in, and he got a really good kill onto I Love Joseph there. Now, this turret's going down really quickly. 365 crit damage.
Yeah, this is a easy turret for Tribe, and they have enough space where they should be able to get out of here scot-free and then move out on the map, take whatever they want. They also have their jungle spawn, so they're able to get this nice, clean rotation.
Yeah, nice clean rotation indeed. And Dienzio sitting on 1,400 gold there. He's got that critical strike. He's going to be able to chop and get himself possibly that Tyrant's Monocle. It's going to be another good power spike for him on this weapon power pedal.
Yeah, Zio, did you mention this? I don't know. He's got that reflex block.
He does have that reflex block, so he's going to be able to get out of any kind of sticky situations, I guess. But
I mean, the Atlas Pauldron is the big thing for me. Like, if he can block that off and just stand his ground.
Yeah, that's right. If he is able to block off that Atlas Pauldron, that's going to prevent the reduction in his damage per second. But it's not difficult to block it. You just have to be really looking out for it there. You got to with all these heroes and particle effects going on, it might be difficult to see an Atlas Pauldron going off.
No, that's the only thing Zio sees in life is someone trying to Atlas Pauldron him. Let's see how this is going to play out. C9, they're going to bully Tribe back as they take control of the Tribe Rush here. Flarix come out from Max. You realize what's happening now. T-Tigers looks like he's looking to maybe mark a target. There you go. Truth of the Tooth. They're on to Joseph. Where's the damage going to come out? A nice gauntlet. Can it kill for T-Tigers? Attack of the back is out. Zio chasing here. They're trying to get onto Joseph, but Joseph turns around. Mouse and Vertical, and they've just blown up the weapon pedal. Now looking for more. Old School sustaining through the fight. T-Tigers will leap forward, finding the kill, but he goes down. And Max Green, one more attack coming out of the Samuel will be enough to find the ace. Cloud9, very clean fight. They'll take a gold miner off the back of that one as well.
Feels good, man, if you are C9 right now, because you got the perfect, you had the perfect positioning right there, right? You actually had Old School kiting away from where the main fight was going on. Even though Max Green threw down that gauntlet, for some reason, D'Enzio didn't go through it and chase down Old School. He just stayed there, and because he stayed there, he shifted the focus of his targets. He wasn't able to take out Old School, who was very low, and that's why that fight ended up going the way of C9.
I don't see this replay coming through right here. I think Zio wanted Joseph because Joseph dropped
it was
so
Joseph.
low.
Yeah, I thought it was Old School.
So, I mean, just kind of a tough spot to be in. And, you know, that's the thing. The pedal has so much damage output, but it's incredibly squishy.
Ace.
Indeed, Humanist. Incredibly squishy. We just need to see this weapon power pedal come online, man. It's getting closer to those power spikes, working on that Tyrant's Monocle now. If there's any hope for Tribe, it's gonna be D'Enzio needs to be protected. He needs to continue to stay in these fights and do tons of damage.
Yeah, I didn't even see if the Atlas got applied in that last fight. It didn't really matter because he was getting blown up, but it is a pretty big factor in and through these fights. We're 10-6 in favor of C9. They've got about 4K net worth advantage. We're 15.5 minutes in now. Attack of the pack. Gauntlet's down. Uh-oh. Regrettable gauntlet, Max Green. They're moving back the Arcane Passage. This is just splitting the fight apart. They're on top of Zio. Zio, can he get through the Arcane Passage? He's on to Old School. They're able to take him down. They've lost their pedal. Now this is Tribe just falling apart. They're able to take Old School down one more time, but it's a double kill coming through for Joseph. I don't know how many double kills he's got in this game, but C9 will come through. They're going to take a Kraken for free. March down the lane after this, and it should be at least like 2 free turrets.
Oh, you never want to lose a fight when Kraken is up, because now we're just going to have I Love Joseph and Gabe Bizzle just melting this Kraken with the death timer still on for Tribe. They're not going to be able to contest this at all. This is a free Kraken being put on the leash for C9, and it's probably, this game looks like it's going to be going their way, man.
Are you're calling it for C9 right now?
I'm calling it for C9 now. I'm changing. Did I call it for them earlier? Because if I did, I'm changing my...
No, you said I believe in weapon pedal. That's what you said.
I'm changing my tune. C9. Kraken on the leash.
All right. Sean Ostino on the bandwagon here. Let's see how it's going to play out. And C9 will move up. Also, keep in mind that they have the element of surprise with Arcane Passage. Like, if they want to engage super quickly, like the moment that they get there, if they engage it, maybe can catch Tribe off guard as well. They can also portal over the wall a little bit lower in the fight and then move up once Kraken starts to get on these turrets. So there's a lot of ways they can approach this now. They move forward, Kraken marching into the base of Tribe. Tribe really have to make some epic plays at this point. What's the play? They move in. They're trying to get on a hero. Old School is the target. Gauntlet's down. They just block it, walk right on through. D'Enzio, pew, 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 lighting them up. Gabe Bizzle, Arcane Passage right back in. He actually got the Atlas off, but it didn't even matter. They just blew D'Enzio up. Max Green gets blown out of the water as well. T-Tigers tucks tail and runs down into the jungle, but the Kraken's just destroying the base of Tribe, and it looks like, my friend Sean Ostino, you are on the right bandwagon.
I am on the right bandwagon. Oh man, Tribe going out from that choke point. Oh, let's see what happens here to T-Tigers.
Let's see.
He's
Feels bad, man. I'm a big T-Tigers fan. That hurts.
D9 wising up to the use of this weapon power pedal in their second game versus it.
Yeah, really clean. Of course, when Old School got the breaking point there, it's really not much you're going to do against the Vox when he stacks up like that.
Yeah, really well played. I like what C9 did here. getting these breaking point stacks, and well, they came out on top, and we're going to the finals, Humanist.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that's going to play out, but you know, they're gonna go, our analysts are gonna break this one down. I don't know if it was composition, itemization, play, strategy, what it was, but Munch, go ahead and take it away.
It has to be said that Joseph played an absolute blinder on that Samuel. Exceptional play coming out from him and from the entire team of Cloud9 there. We thought that this weapon petal was unbeatable, but they managed to beat down their own pick that has been running riot across the courts of today. Cloud9 managing to take the series 2-1. Let's talk about that game in a little bit more detail, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I said during the draft, maybe they were just intentionally letting that pedal through so that they could try something out against it, and clearly they found something that works against the weapon pedal.
I mean, if you bring up a new pick that seems so strong, you might as well, you better have a counter pick or a counter composition for when the other teams are going to start picking it up, and that's exactly what happened for C9.
Absolutely. Now, our first replay in this game is going to be around the 8-minute mark of the game, where we see Cloud9 starting things off strong.
Yeah, and this was where it was still very much up in the air as to which way this game was going to go. This is when you expect the pedal to kind of start taking over, but all of a sudden Cloud9 able to find these fights, getting massive chunks of damage down with this Samuel. It was still very, very close, but there was just those small little advantages going the way of Cloud9 that continuously built up as the game went on.
Yeah, I mean, I have to go back to the Fortress pick on T-Tigers. It's a cute composition, that the one that Tribe built with Vox, Fortress, and Grace, but at the same time, you have to get T-Tigers on a carry, on a hero that he can carry with instead of a hero that he has to be passive with. I don't think it plays into Tribe's strengths, and playing into your strengths is the exact same thing that the strong teams, the better teams that are showing on top right now, that's what they do. They play to their strengths.
Absolutely. Now, we did see Tribe kind of play to their strengths to some extent. Once we got to the 12-minute mark, they managed to pull a bit of a team fight win out. It wasn't enough for them to win the game, but it was certainly a ray of hope.
Yeah, it was at least signs of life, and that's the key thing in a game. Is like when you start to fall behind, you want to get these signs of life, try and get a little bit of momentum going your way, and it was just a very chaotic and very hectic fight, and they were able to take down Joseph. That was the key. Joseph was doing so much damage on the backside of these fights with these Malice and Verix and the Drifting Darks that they just weren't able to deal with it for the most part. So when the team fight was all clustered up and grouped together, that was when Tribe had their best chances.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see whether that's going to be a continued theme across the course of today. Now, we have a replay of Cloud9 with some excellent positioning as we came on into this fight.
This is one of the later team fights in the game where we see Cloud9 doing exactly what they need to do and kiting away. This is their win condition. When Fortress tries to engage on you, they need to be kiting away. And a really impressive change of plans when they portal in and switch the focus from kiting away to engaging on Tribe, and it's an extremely decisive call there that happened too. Gavizzle just telling the team, follow me, we're gonna engage right here. C9 turn around, they engage, and they clean up the team fight.
Yeah, and that's obvious. That's one of the things that people often talk about when it comes to shot calling and coordination with a team. The best teams in the world, whatever esport we're talking about, are the ones that commit to a call, even if they don't think the call is right. So long as you're on the same page as a team and all follow through together, you can pull victories off of that. And that's something that we see out of Cloud9 every single time that they go into a fight.
Yeah, and the pairing of Lyra and Samuel is one that it's been around for a long time now. It's never been like the end-all be-all combo, but it has always been an extremely strong combo, and the members of Cloud9 showcased why in this game once again.
Also, a reason why Gavizzle continuously portaled in after they started canning away is so he can apply the Atlas onto Petal. When you Atlas and then portal, it's nearly impossible to reflex block the portal or the Atlas. And as Petal, because she's going the Tornado Triggers build as well, once she's Atlased, her damage output is reduced by so much, and it's just a great play from Gavizzle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Gavizzle always brings out the great plays, always knows how to best deal with the situation. Now, MVP for this series is going to go the way of Old School, just for bringing that weapon petal to the table once again.
I don't feel like that's something that we should be promoting. I really don't.
But also, he played exceptionally well for the entire series as well. His Idris was great in Game 2, even though they lost out. And then in that final game, knowing how to play against that weapon petal in the lane as well. So great stuff coming out from him across the course of this series. And that is going to bring this series to an end as well. That is the end of our second semi-final already. A 2-1 scoreline. It has to be said, Tribe did an excellent job in this series. Obviously, basically everyone else that has met Cloud9 so far this season has been brushed aside. So I think Tribe can be happy with a 2-1 result on this